I ignored my ex after he dumped me and now he's calling me cruel. My ex-boyfriend Jake broke up with me about a month ago after dating for almost a year. The reason was pretty simple. I had this boundary about sex, and when I was ready for it that I told him about from the very beginning. He said he was totally fine with it at first. But a few months in, he started getting frustrated. He'd make little comments here and there about how hard it was to wait. Then one day he sat me down and said he couldn't do it anymore, that we were incompatible and there was no way to fix it unless one of us changed our beliefs. I was heartbroken, but I agreed to end things. What else could I do? He asked if we could stay friends and I told him no. I said friendship would just make things messy and probably turn toxic. I needed time to heal first, and then maybe we could talk about being friends later. He said he understood. We went completely no contact after that. I deleted his number, unfollowed him on everything, the whole thing. I was doing okay, starting to move on. Then 3 weeks later, I got a text from an unknown number. It was Jake saying he hoped I was doing well. I stared at that message for like an hour. Part of me wanted to reply because we ended on good terms and he seemed nice about it. But I knew if I started talking to him again, all those feelings would come rushing back, so I didn't respond. Here's where I messed up though. Before we broke up, I had made him this virtual birthday card on one of those websites. You know, the ones where you can schedule it to send automatically? Well, his birthday was coming up and I completely forgot to cancel it. The card sent. It was this really thoughtful thing with pictures of us and inside jokes and everything. He immediately replied thanking me for the sweet card and then added this joking line like, now you should probably reply to my other message too. I felt so stupid. Now he thought I was reaching out when really it was just an accident, but I still didn't reply because I didn't know what to say. How do you explain that? The next day I woke up to an email from him. It said, I suppose you don't want to talk. Fair enough. Those two words, fair enough, made me feel terrible, like I was being cruel or something. My best friend told me I should just reply and explain about the card, but my roommate said I didn't owe him anything and that responding would just open the door again. I was so confused about what to do. The thing is, this was actually the second time Jake had broken up with me. The first time was earlier in our relationship over something smaller and we got back together after a week. But this time felt final, and honestly I was starting to feel resentful about how easily he could just walk away from me. If he really had something important to say, wouldn't he have just said it already instead of these vague hope you're well messages? It felt like he wanted to keep me on the hook as a backup option. But at the same time, we used to communicate so well. We could talk about anything. And now I was just ignoring him completely, which felt wrong. I kept going back and forth in my head about whether I was being mature or just petty. Finally, after reading through all his messages again, I decided to send one final email. I apologized for the birthday card sending and explained it was scheduled before we broke up. I told him I needed more time before we could be friends and that this would be my last message for a while. I hit send before I could change my mind. He never replied to that one. It's been 2 weeks now and I haven't heard from him since. I still don't know if I handled it right, but at least now there's no confusion about where we stand.